Hello everybody and welcome back. I am Mr. JP, the game is Out of Ore, and big thank you to everyone who's been tuning in, getting involved, all good. Thanks to the subscribers especially for clicking that button. Doesn't really mean that much, I don't do this for the money or the likes or anything like that, I just do it for fun. And to hopefully provide better gaming for gamers out there, and for developers, a source of feedback. So today you catch up with me doing a little experiment that's been rattling around in my head. I've got this hopper here that I'm loading up. Messed with my settings a little. I played with the VSync, turning it off, nearly got sick from all the flickering. But got more frames per second on the little meter, so the VSync appears to limit that and uses some of those frames for smoothing it up, I guess. Didn't appear to improve the lag problem, which is what I was trying to get rid of when digging. You dig for a bit and then you've got all this lag, and you might notice I'm not always getting full buckets here. It's because I'm just scraping. I don't want to push it around. I just want to grab it. So yeah, these hoppers sort of build up. Excuse the rustling. It's me messing with my mask. These hoppers build up those little balls slowly but surely as you're working away. So it's something to be dealt with. But we're going to grab a bit of waste material here. Give myself a bit more room to work. Yeah, you just drive in, watch the bucket fill, scoop, and drive out again, and you push a little hump up when the bucket's full as well, and you just go in with it at halfway height, push again and take the top off it, a bit like with the bulldozer. Digging's become quite simple in that way. You don't have to flick balls around and work to get them into the bucket now. You just go in, scoop, back out, which is kind of more how loaders operate, I think, from what I've seen, because you can, as I say, go in at half height, angle the bucket downwards a bit. As I say, I think that bucket fill angle needs a little bit of tuning. Yeah, just take the top off like that. Then you can back up, go in again, take the top off another bit, scrape that hump, back up. So relatively easy. I built this floor, added a bit of material just as a ramp up. It's not the smoothest in the world, doesn't need to be. Just to make access to the hopper a bit easier, really. I could have gone another layer down, but that meant digging into more topsoil, and I'm tired of digging in topsoil. I want to get some pay dirt. So just take one more scoop, and then I got to turn the machines on. Give me a bit of a head start on them. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the fine waste out of one of them, and I'm running it through another drum, which sounds kind of crazy because it's the waste, but never can tell what people hide as Easter eggs in games, you know. I'm also going to be the experiment of putting it through two drums and seeing if the second one extracts any more material. It's just I noticed some different coloured stuff in my waste pile out there, and I haven't dumped anything like that in there. So it may be that the drums aren't 100% efficient and they actually eject rich stuff in the waste. So thought I'd do the experiment and test it out. So I've got this drum here, which has been loading. I think I've done about 5 scoops or so. Yeah, 6 scoops, probably 3,000. Got this drum over here, and there's already a pile of rich stuff here from my leaking conveyor. So there's a pile of stone there, and we're going to smooth it all out, so that if anything comes out at the end there, we should notice it appearing in a pile underneath it, because that pile isn't in line. So yeah, the edge of the current stone pile is what it is. It's nice and smooth. If we see this start to peak up a bit, like that is, where I just smoothed it out, we'll know that that's ejecting nice stuff. So turn that one on now. That's filling up nicely with material, which should be ejected over here. Excellent. I'll smooth this area out, give it a bit of a run, try and roll down. Probably not going to work. Okay, I'm going to put something in that I thought about putting in, but didn't. That's a set of panels just through here. That zoom in thing again really does help you out. one there. Move across a little. It's not going to let me do it there. So I'll get rid of them. Let's smooth that out below before it gets too extreme. There we go, it's starting to fall off. But yeah, not the best of ejector systems. It will do the job for the moment. Ah, had it then. No, it fell off. There it is. No, it's gone. It's coming out too quick for me to do it. But yeah, we'll just smooth all that out again. Maybe I'll have fun now. There we go. That should help out a little there. Smooth all that. So yeah, the machine's ejecting there. I haven't seen it ejecting anything good yet, so maybe it is 100% efficient. We'll find out as I run this pile. So yeah, what people are probably tuning in for is the fact that I'm digging into the lithium pile over here, which is something I've been meaning to do. I need some money now, down to 2.2 mil. Don't really want to go below 2. Sort of the little minimum I'd set myself in my head, and it's a good minimum for machine pricing as well, because machines are all sort of half mil to 1.6. So if I want to keep messing around with machines and messing around with conveyors and stuff, I'm going to need more money. Which is why I haven't been ripping at the lithium seams. I wanted to see how long you could go on just the pay dirt. And I've made a couple of £100 in my last run of pay grit dirt, so it's reasonable, I think would be the term. I haven't seen any profit going in from this lot yet. Oh, there it is. That's alright. I must keep my eyes on that corner of the screen more. Yeah, I'm just going to go in here, leaving my ramp out intact, hopefully. Yeah. And just dig in at that lithium seam, just gently take it all out. And this is what I mean by it's taking longer to take out material. Something like this was like 4 or 5 scoopfuls, maybe a little more on the last version. Now it's taking a lot longer, so I think equipment's destroying less material, even though stuff like that it would appear it's destroying more. I think some of it did end up in the bucket. It's just so skinny that it doesn't generate the texture in the bucket because it's less than 10% or something. I don't know, but we'll keep dumping. Starting to get some frame rate drop now already. I did do some digging before I started filming. Perhaps I should have restarted, give us longer. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, because we got quite a lot out of it last time. It wasn't crashing, we were down to 6 frames a second and stuff, so see how resilient things can be. I don't think that second machine is going to find anything, but it was just one of those experiments that was rattling around in my head. The other one being what happens when you filter what comes out, but we'll get to that later. Maybe on the next layer down, or I might just do that pay dirt. Maybe with coal mixed in, I don't know. If you've done any experiments like that, let me know. Save me some time and effort. They're talking about redoing the machines and stuff, so hopefully we'll get some more advanced equipment or more advanced ways of using it. Quite cool. Everybody loves a bit of Automation Nation, Satisfactory, Hydroneer. Hydroneer's a fun game, even if it's a little bit basic and a little bit cutesy and cartoony for my taste. I prefer things that are a bit more real. One of the reasons why I think Farm Sim 22 is a little bit less for me is the models are detailed enough and everything, it just feels very cutesy. I don't know why. shame because I spent a lot of time with Farm Sim. To fall out of love with it's a bit strange, but gaming comes and goes, that's the way it is. Maybe I'll get back into it at some point. Out of Ore would have to go seriously wrong for me to play Farm Sim over Out of Ore though, so yeah. Keep saying I'm going to play something else and I keep on coming back to this, so game's definitely got something for people with a certain mindset. As you might know from previous videos, I'm not perhaps average person. Stuff's happened to me recently that's sort of traumatic, so perhaps I'm finding this therapeutic, this repetitive sort of boring grind through the terrain. I don't know. I've been waiting for a mining game for a while, so it might just be that. It was almost Construction Simulator, but realised I had SnowRunner and it's basically the same thing with construction equipment, so why bother? Yeah, that ejector ramp has not worked. Just getting buried. Okay. Scratch that down to size. Stick in some more. Yeah, there. Just need a block. Yeah, because it'll be in the same place. Zoom in. Ah, there, finally, it's happened on camera. You saw it zooming in and out as I zoomed in. It's a nice little touch, it does work. It's just a bit glitchy on when it activates. Sometimes it just stays fixed there if you're looking at something that's too close for it to allow it to happen. But yeah, nice that it does actually still work. Hadn't seen it for a while. So this construction system has potential. This word is it's going to be reworked, so it should be cool. Should all be good. Biggest bugbear that a lot of people have with the game may well be not a bugbear for much longer. And I have lost the component I'm trying to demolish underneath the pile of rock coming out of the conveyor, race conveyor. There we go. Just because I've got OCD and I like neat. So we're going to put a turn. So I've got them in the inventory, in like that. Actually give my ejector a bit more life. Excuse me. So, back to the dig. Haven't been keeping an eye on the money going in. There we go. So, a certain amount of cash coming out of the machine. That's a good thing. I'm not crushing this because I didn't think it was worth it. It's lithium. I'm putting it through one of these sorters already when I should just be dumping it straight in. So, just see what happens now we're getting into the lithium. Keep your eyes on the numbers. I could have edited this up so you just saw lithium cut after lithium cut after lithium cut and spent half my evening doing it. I choose not to do that. I like my gaming. And also I feel that the live cuts and full length give a more honest view of how long some of this stuff takes, because I am doing stuff between gaming videos, like building this machine, that kind of thing. I've demonstrated them all before. If you want me to do another video on them, let me know. Since my previous videos are sort of long-winded and I get distracted and stuff, I could probably do it better anyway. And it's going to change. So, like, construction's going to change, digging's going to change. I didn't even look at the numbers then, I should have been. But this should be a bigger number. You see what I mean? I'm not digging away the deposit at the speed that you used to in the other mode. The bucket loads aren't so different. You fill the big dumper in 2.5 buckets with this, so yeah. Not seeing thousands appearing yet. It might just be because the lithium hasn't gone through. I am loading the machine pretty hard. And by that, if you're building up in the hopper, you're loading hard. It'll be loading at the fastest speed conveyors can go. 411. It's ticking up. Perhaps I should be crushing it. There is more stone here than I thought, but the machine doesn't appear to be generating waste, so my thought that you could run the waste again and again a couple of times to get everything out of it may well be flawed. Perhaps I'm reading too much into things. I do that. A lot of people do that, it's not just me. Like, I'm sure a lot of people look for things in games that really haven't been designed in. It's how we find these Easter eggs and these little loopholes, you know? What happens if I do this? Technician a long time ago, he was I think a B-52 bomb aimer, but he'd been in the mechanical department and all sorts. I think radar navigator might be the job that he was in. But yeah, he got into like one of the later model B-52s at a show, and I think the last one he served in was a D model, and this was an H model, and they're like, oh, it's all singing and dancing, it's got this, that and the other, rah-de-rah-de-rah. He went, alright, and everything's on and it's working, yeah? It's like, yeah. It's like, cool, can I have a look? And they were like, yeah. So he got into the seat, pressed one switch, pulled another switch, and everything went black. And they were like, what the hell? What's going on? And all these technicians running around and all these show people just like, that shouldn't happen. What? And the technician sat in seats just gone like, it's this bus, this fuse, and this bit that have gone and blown. Problem's been there for ages. And this one here, if it's blown in flight, you can't get to it because there's access from the outside, rah-de-rah-de-rah. And they're just looking at him like grown horns. So it's such a famous incident. It's ended up in a couple of books, like fictional and non-fiction. It's referenced to. In the same way, moon landings get referenced to, and certain soldiers that have run Medals of Honor and that kind of thing. So yeah, things happen when you use stuff. It's only by testing. If you're ever feeling a bit nervous about life, be reassured. Most of the American nuclear weapons systems still ran on like 5¼ floppy inch discs up until very recently. So, you know. The way I look at it is it takes an awful lot of things to go right for those things to fly. Like a lot of things really, just a simple computer game, you know, a lot of things have to go right. I'm not seeing really big numbers coming up yet. I'm wondering if I'm losing a lot of money by doing this, but we'll see. Got roughly exactly 2.3 mil, so we'll see what this comes up with at the end. Let's keep going in nice and high, scraping the top off. Get the most I can out of the scene, and it keeps things tidy, which suits my jangled nerves. There we go, finally the mouse responds. This mouse is terrible, I've said it before, but at the moment, like, the slightest crumb of something gets between the mouse pad and the mouse and lifts it up and stops reading. It's like it's got the most pathetic LED ever in it. I don't think it's a light emitting diode, it's a light weeping diode. LWD. A low wattage diode. Either way, it's a piece of crud. I'm going to get another one along with joystick. Like, I'm still arguing over the joysticks thing. Whether to get a pair of joysticks. I don't know. Decisions. Yeah, we'll just keep working this one hopper, seeing what it does to the lag. Getting down to 20 FPS when I'm dumping, so getting to the point where I start normally, like if I'm just gaming for my own pleasure, I'll normally do a quit and a reload, but if I do that the recording software will stop, so we'll push it, we'll see if we can crash again. I'm not happy with the result of this anyway, so I will save it probably. If it crashes, I won't be worried if I lose it and have to run it again, because I'm going to take the machinery out and just run it direct and see what difference it makes. For all I know, that machine's massively loaded and we're going to take ages to get a result. But should really check it. Get some more into the hopper before you do that. You can see what I mean about the cut angle. Just seems to be all a mess. When it comes to thin pinny bits, it's like they're visual only. They don't contain much material. Most strange. Some voxel effect. I don't know. I suppose what I could do is attack it from a different direction. Not like that. There we go. From up here. Get myself a nice smooth clear ramp around it. So I kind of cut it off, as you see, but you saw the struggle I was having compared to going in on a smooth square face. So smoothing the work area, quite an effective way of doing business for where you're starting your cuts. You wouldn't believe the trouble I had digging this in. With this machine, trying to get started through the green layer. If it's simulation to simulate how tough the roots are in the green layer, they've done well. If it's some kind of weird bug, it needs looking at. One of the two. So, yeah. Pretty sure some of the viewers out there have got worlds that are more advanced than mine, where they didn't restart the save after that update, or they've been digging more specifically in one place, haven't been wasting time on the road builds. Let's say, see if you can find the Discord that I've mentioned in my previous video, Mr. JP Gaming and Analysis, and that's the and sign, not the word. If you're sticking it in a search, I presume it would make a difference, or is the search smart enough now to look for and. Ooh, whoa! 3 words are the same in the same sentence. Let's we won't do that again. But yeah, see if you can find the Discord out there, see if it works. I need to test these things. I kind of don't trust internet stuff. I like technology, I like playing with technology, but I don't necessarily believe everything I see with technology. A friend of mine recently, he did well. He managed to catch a dating website chatbot out, which was kind of funny. Kind of proved something that I thought for a while. So yeah. The word's not worth the paper it's printed on, that one. So, I've never tried to pull on a dating website. Tried a casual meeting website. It's known in the papers as like a casual hookup site, and it gets used for that, sure. But gonna be honest, a lot of people just like hang out in the forums and chat, and some of the posts on the boards were blooming educational to an innocent guy like me. Jeez, wow. So, yeah, internet's a dangerous place in many ways. Depends where you go. Yeah, eye-opening. Suddenly realised what some of the terms that were flying around meant and was like, ooh, ew, ew. So, yeah, stay away from that now. And from my friend's experience of the dating websites, don't think they're worth bothering with either. I used to go to pubs, but they've gone downhill recently. Influx of certain things. World's not what it used to be. And I don't get on with those things, so I stay away now. Yeah, don't really like it. Like I'm all for free choice and everything, but things in public can be a bit much. are things that you should keep for the party. And don't get me wrong, I'm no stranger to the party. Like I used to go out into the woods and rave with the crew. We used to call them free parties to avoid the word rave hitting search engines and that kind of thing, or being heard on telephones. When it's out in the woods, it's slightly different to, I think, the ones in the cities. I've never really been to a city one. I think the difference is that you tend to clear up afterwards. Quite often there was a clear up crew at 6 in the morning once the music was winding down. Go across the place, pick up all the litter, make sure there was no one unconscious left in a bush to die of exposure. You know, that kind of thing. It's called responsible partying. If you go out with a crew, you make sure the whole crew get back. You know, no one gets left behind sort of situation. It's in a lot of situations recently in festivals and big events and stuff where someone's gone there with a group and they've been left alone and something bad's happened. It's like, yeah, what where were they? Jeez. You only learn these lessons by experience. I suppose I got the experience. But yeah, it's one of those rules as a teenager that we sort of didn't really leave anyone behind unless they were okay with it and could look after themselves. I got left behind a couple of times at parties when there was no space in the car and stuff, and left to walk home, but I was big and ugly enough to take it. And everyone knew that I'd regularly walked that route before, so walking it again at 4 AM wasn't such a bad thing. In modern day, it's probably a bit riskier in a lot of places. I'm going to be honest. There are places I don't like. I've always been a friend of the night. I've never really been scared of the dark, but these days there are places that I wouldn't walk around in the dark, which is a shame for my country. It really is. Other people from other places are probably laughing and being like, "Yeah, that's the norm," but talking about a country where the average copper never needed a weapon previously for a while. Most they needed was a truncheon and a helmet, you know, and a whistle. Seems a bit of a step backwards in some ways to what we are today. But there we go. God, 19 frames a second. But we haven't crashed yet, so this is a win. This is a win. Like plenty of material going in the machine. Made 41 grand so far, which is actually not that good for a lithium scene. Starting to wonder how much money these machines actually can rob you of. There might be a lot sat in the machine. There might be a lot sat in the machine. We shall see. We shall see. This is mainly a gameplay vid. I'm sorry about the rambling. I don't get out enough. I need to go out. I need to go out more, but if I go out I don't play as much computer games and I won't be making content for you guys, so it's not a good balance. It's not a good balance. I like making the content. As I say, I think I'm going to have to change game at some point. I can't keep playing this all the time. It's going to turn into a one-track wonder. For those who aren't familiar with that term, one-hit wonder, one-track wonder, it's those musicians that they're there for a single song. Got a feel for them, but when that single song's a Christmas hit, they make money every year, so why worry? Just a bit of must be a bit sore on the old ego. Got like a inventory of 100 songs and everyone only knows one. Money's creeping up. But yeah, I'm wondering whether the pure seams should definitely just be loaded in a dumper or straight in. Right, yeah, those numbers didn't feel good on the speed that took down, but we'll keep digging. We'll keep digging. Yeah, got stuck in there again. Yes, I'm not convinced by this at all. I made like 15. Oh, okay. Okay, that's a bit more like it. 11 ton, 2/3 of a bucket full. Yeah, alright. Okay. Maybe I'll let it off the hook. It was just processing all the crud at the start, which means I'm probably well up on the processor. (16 to 17 frames a second again). So, yeah. Not convinced about that from a card that's perfectly capable of doing a lot of things quickly. It's handled harder games, I know that. I've had it whining a lot more than this before now. Just going by fan speeds, really. Sounds like probably an odd thing to monitor as a way of monitoring how hard your PC's working, but when you've got a water-cooled system and the air-cooled fans kick on, you know it's doing more than average. The graphics card is also air-cooled, so it's those fans that I think I'm hearing at the moment, which kind of concerns me. Gave it a blowout the other day. I'm going to give it another good going over. But, there may well be a bit of an electronics geek. Software and computers aren't really my side of things, but more of a peripherals and what you can do with the electric energy than software and that kind of thing. I know how to wire one up. I know how they work. I know how to design chips. Understand logic gates and everything. Just not my cup of tea, really. Never really used my electronics degree. Soldered up some stuff, did some prototyping, mainly in car stereos, and there was another side to it, but I can't really go into that. It doesn't adapt well to civilian life, let's put it like that. It's not a transferable skill. At the moment, I'm not sure I want a world where it's a transferable skill, because that means that problem is on my doorstep. But yeah. Kind of thinking, well, 80 grand in. You get between 80 to 100,000, 10, 120,000 for a dumper full of pure lithium. We'd have done a couple. So I'm starting to wonder how much machines rob from pure seams. I think if you're just racking out coal, it might be okay. This coal's pretty much worthless. I say that. I've got a coal seam underneath this pile somewhere that was paying off quite well. Oh no, it's beyond the pile. It's on the other side. Chipping the top out of it. 12 frames per second there, bottoming out at. Oof. Jeez. Maybe I should turn my width of view down a bit more. Let me know if you've got anything that's sort of improving this lag situation. You know, settings, that kind of thing. Because it'd be interesting to hear about, try out. Also, whether you found having too many machines in a local area affects it. Cause I've got the bulldozer up at the top there, a couple of dumpers nearby, excavator up at the top, grader up at the top, 501s down on 500 models down on the hill, 301s down on the hill. So I've got a few vehicles around. Maybe I should just concentrate on using one vehicle and running them about. Let me know your thoughts on that. It's not an experiment that I've done. I've been keeping hold of the vehicles because they're like money in the bank, as it were. You can trade them in, and once you've bought them, They don't cost you any overhead, which is kind of handy. If they change that, I might have to change the way I game. I think that kind of development, economics-wise, is probably a year away. We want to get these machines processing properly and stuff before you start putting financial burdens on the players. sometimes in the development world I feel that developers get pushed by the players to take it beyond in the scope of the gameplay and how much there is in the game before it's ready. I think after a year in development you've got to be adding things to the game to keep people interested. But at the moment it's definitely about the fine-tuning for the game, I think. As I've said before, I think this soil has great potential, and this bulking system, if it makes bigger machines possible, once it's tuned up and everything, it's going to be awesome. Looking forward to bigger dumper, looking forward to bigger loaders, looking forward to front scoop loaders, you know, the type of the big bucket, like an excavator that scoops into the front of a face upwards and then swings around and just drops out the bottom of the bucket into the dumper. It'd be, yeah, looking forward to that stuff. Looking forward to that good stuff. So yeah, we'll just keep tipping away, tipping away. As you can see from the different colours of the material going in, there's a fair bit of lithium going in here. So let's go have a look and see how much we're actually getting into this thing. Okay, 12,000%, yeah, so it's well laid and there's a lot of profit still sat in there. This machine is inputting material and is ejecting nothing, so that's a good sign. I have to leave it there and running at the moment. Gotta remember I've got stuff in the oven. That's the other thing. Got about an hour or so of filming that I can do before stuff's ready, I think. Got other folks in the house keeping an eye on it, so it should be alright. Just thinking, I'm wearing a COVID mask but I can smell food, so it's probably getting near ready. Which best go sort out in a minute. Life kicking in. If you don't want to end up as a gaming horror story, you need to eat. Otherwise you game and game and game, and then you're dead at your gaming station and people find you months later and you end up in like some kind of Darwin award. Since I'm really skinny anyway, it's kind of a worry. And I doubt it'll be the gaming that gets me. Probably more something cardio related, but never mind. Can't worry about that too much. Makes me stress, raises my blood pressure, and that increases the chance of it happening. It's the dark irony of the situation. If I stress about it, it'll be a lot worse. I so want pizza. It wasn't fair on the Discord the other day. I want pizza. I want pizza so bad. Like a proper pizza. I can have like meat and cheese. But like maybe a little bit of garlic, not too much, but all the tomato and all of the fruit and veg you normally have on a pizza, I can no longer have. That includes barbecue sauce, and yeah, I miss Texas barbecue pizza. They sort of use barbecue sauce instead of the tomato sauce, and it's lovely. Oh yeah, and stuffed crust. Oh, so much I miss on food. 6 frames per second, so I'm going to have to stop digging now, because if I continue, that will lose me the entire session. And I want to see this test through, so... oh, hello. Lagging down to a single frame per second. I'm going to hit the parking brakes so this vehicle's stationary. There we go. And I'm going to do a save. Actually, I'm not, because I want to cache all the stuff in this machine. So I'm not going to do a save, I'm just going to stop digging. Okay, so yeah. That hopper is just emptied. That machine's at 13,200%, so it's probably pretty full. Got that lot running out that way. Oh! This might have been a source of lag. That's a bit of a problem. So you're seeing the problem with waste ejectors and why I raise them up in the air. and you have to keep an eye on them and keep them clear. If they're a bit higher up in the air, it means that you can sort of get in under them with like the 500 or the bulldozer. And then they don't do this, because you just wipe them out each time. An excavator does the job quite well too. I've been thinking a job for the wheeled excavator. Perhaps I'll park it down here and use it to wipe out this debris. Don't really want to do any more digging at the moment, because if I dig, we lose frames per second. See why I want this bug fixed now, yeah? We're getting there, we're getting there. Just keep running out all of this with the smoothing tool. Yeah, you get a bit messy when you're stood on lots of these little balls. You get thrown around everywhere as they pop under you and the terrain changes, but yeah. Suppose I could use a turn right on the end there and zigzag it, and then delete it again, pile it up backwards as it were. Or another transport left. Hopefully there won't be too much more of that dirt in there. It should all be profit. Let's run over here. Have a quick look down the other end here and see what's going on. Stuff is coming out there. Yeah. Yeah, now that's interesting. Plenty of magnetite, plenty of blasted rock, plenty of magnetite. Okay. So magnetite, there's a material that I haven't really seen much of. Yeah, I got this crazy corner and hopper system going down. But, gives you something to look at to monitor, see what's coming through. That was the point of this. There's the magnetite again. So we've just caught up with what was running out of the machine. Sorry, a bit boring gameplay episode, but sometimes you've got to do a bit of this. You've got to look at what's going on and consider what you're doing with your machinery and that kind of thing. There's platinum, there's lithium. So yeah, okay. So the crushers do appear to lose you stuff. What? That's what I thought, 23 grand. Okay, so there is some serious cash. We've made 190 grand now. So, okay, crushers. So I'm pretty sure the magnetite was coming out of the pay dirt. There's another 18 thou. So yeah, that's 200 grand now. So, off of what was, it was about level with that floor, the height of that lithium deposit. So I've taken off single buckets worth. And we're already, yeah, it was about a bucket's worth of depth there. So that's all heaped up. So yeah, seems to be doing alright. Okay, so machinery isn't chewing as much money as it used to, that's for sure. So I expected to see about 250,000 to 300,000 out the top of this. It's working on the theory for clearing out the other seam in my last game and that kind of thing. Let's push that up that way a bit. See what happens to the frame rate now, because it's had plenty of time to process some stuff. It should have sorted out, if it's like a full list, it should be deleting items as it caches them in. Oh gosh. 8, 12, 10. Yeah, okay, so it's recovered a little. But it's still, there was still quite a major frame rate drop there, considering the game's running on what isn't a bad machine. There's still, as I say, this is a game related software thing to do with terrain updates or something. But, I think that's only a little bit of stonework in there. Just cash it in anyway. You'll see there that bit of stonework that was sticking up in that pile wasn't that big really. And yet I got quite a lot of material out of it. So the scrapey seems to work quite well. Let's take it back in the other direction. So those who have played Gold Rush will know that you take it from the top, because otherwise in that game it deletes all your valuable pay dirt, as it were, and resets it to an average. And this isn't the same deal as far as I'm aware. You can pile up high grade pay dirt, and I think it remains as high grade pay dirt. Bit of a pointless bucketful, but it's all stone. I may be wrong about that. I've been wrong a lot of times in my life. It's no big deal. It happens. But yeah, hopefully just get in again. Push up a bit more of that bund. Those banks behind are kind of handy because it gives you something to scrape against, and they do stop your machine falling off. So yeah, I'm just going to let this run and end the filming there, because I think otherwise I'm going to crash the game. And so it's going to be pretty boring, me just standing next to a machine watching it run out and the numbers flick up. But we'll see how much cash I've got in the next footage. So thanks very much for viewing, thanks for joining me, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you next time.